Hello Virgo, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. It's lovely to have you here. I'm Lisa. This is Rooted Souls Tarot, and we're going to have a little bit of a look at your general energy this week. So I've got these lovely Mayatol cards, like that. We'll pick you two and we'll see what's going on with you this week. Then we'll have a closer look with some tarot cards. So, Virgo. What have we got for you? What's happening in your world this week? We've got one and we've got two. Okay. Ooh, we've got defying gravity. And what's the reishi? Reishi. It's a mushroom, I think, a fungus. And then we've got clear the way, sage. So, I think that things are going to take a bit of a shift for you this week. I think that you are literally going to be defying gravity. I think that there's going to be a situation for you this week that you're going to be, how did that happen? And I think it's just going to come from nowhere. I've had situations like this throughout my life where you just think, how did that happen? That wasn't meant to happen. And I often think it's just the universe making things happen for you, trying to push you down the direction that you're meant to be going, down the path that you're meant to be going. So I think this week is going to be a little bit like that. It's going to be a little bit, how did that happen? But it did, and it's good. So let's just run with it and not question it too much. We've got clear the way. I think literally the way is being cleared by the universe for you, because I think you've been plodding forwards and moving forwards and just chipping away at it, being, in typical earth sign, being solid, being stable, and just, getting on with it. And I think things are starting to clear. I think the way is starting to clear. I think things are going to start feeling easier. I think the energy is just going to start flowing, and it's going to start making things happen and happen in a how did that happen kind of way. So let's have a little bit of a look at some tarot cards, see what else is happening. Or if they can tell us a little bit more about this situation. Right, we have the Two of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Hierophant, the Four of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. I'm going to give them a little bit of a shuffle. So, the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is all about you looking out into the future. Where can I go next? What's next for me? Making some choices about your future. I think basically I've said future, I'm going to stick with it. I think there's some choices that need to be made for you regarding your future, and I think for a lot of you it's going to be work related, because it's wands, it's work, but it's certainly going to be in an area where you put a lot of energy. So it could well be a hobby, it could be just a project, whatever it is that it's something that you enjoy, something that brings you satisfaction. I think you're making choices about where to now, what's next, regarding that situation. We've got the Ten of Swords there, and we've got the Tower card. So the Tower card, I'm seeing it as the defying gravity card. How did that happen? What the hell happened there? That wasn't meant to happen, and that, defying gravity is just not, it sort of bends our brain, doesn't it? And I think this is going to do something similar to you. We've got that ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is about the ending of something, the ending of a stressful situation, actually. And I think that's going to come about with a Tower moment, with something happening, the universe just clearing the way, maybe taking something away that's, not of your doing, making space for you to then just to walk into this space and create something, build something new, build something better. So I think it's all starting with you just thinking, what's next for me? Where's next for me? How can I shake things up? What can I do to make my life better, essentially? Actually, I think it is. And then there's going to be an ending. just something, and it's a good ending, because see, she's walking into the light there. She's walking into the beautiful golden light. It's not a stay away from the light, Caroline. It's a look at that, look at that beautiful golden light. You're going on to something better, and it's just going to come from nowhere. Interesting week. I'm a Virgo. I'm a little bit apprehensive now. No, I'm not really. I love the tower. The tower, when the towers come in, it's been a really big shift for me in a positive way. And I think it is for, people are frightened of the tower, that energy, that sudden, unexpected energy. It's frightening, isn't it? But, it can take you aback at first, but with hindsight, even a day after, the same evening, you can think, thank goodness that happened, because it's opened up the way for this and this and this, and I wouldn't have met that person if this hadn't have happened. So it's always a positive thing. So 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords. He's got his hand on his head. He's got some conflicting thoughts within his head, obviously, because that's where thoughts are kept. So I think there's something that you are holding on to, something that somebody's maybe said to you, something that you've been conditioned to think, something that isn't serving you in any shape or form. And I think it's something that you're battling with this week. It's something that you need to let go of. You need to let go of, whether you do or not, it's up to you. But there's definitely something in your head this week, and maybe it's, the catalyst is the tower. But there's certainly a little bit of stress and conflicting thoughts, stressful thoughts going on within that head of yours this week, Virgo. We've got the 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, completely contrasting energies. The 10 of Pentacles is having it all, is having everything that you need right this given moment on a material level. The 5 of Pentacles is having a perceived lack of. So I'm thinking you're going to be feeling conflicted this week. I think that's what the conflicting thoughts are about. It's about having and having not. It's about maybe you have got what you need, but thinking that you haven't, and it's causing you stress. It's causing you to have this ongoing headache of niggling energy that's just like not being helpful to you. There's a solution to every 5. The 5 of Pentacles there. You see there, she's got that big key. She's only little. She needs to figure out how to get it in that lock and turn it. So it's about being creative. It's about releasing those thoughts to kick off with, and getting a bit of a can-do attitude about it, and shaking things up and realising that actually I've got a lot here. Maybe I'm not lacking after all. Maybe I can find a solution to it, a creative solution to it, which is going to solve all the problems. I think a little bit of creativity is needed, and a little bit of looking at things from a different perspective. I'm going to have one more there because I'm not quite. Judgment. I think there's a bit of a transformation going on. And maybe it is this 5 of Swords, this thing that's stuck in your head. If you have been brought up in a way where you were struggling for money as a child, and your thoughts around money, your thoughts about finances are maybe, you're not open to receiving, although you may think you are. Maybe you've got some blockages when it comes to attracting finances or being accepting of having money, having what you need. And I think that there's going to be a little bit of a rebirth there relating to that this week. I think you're going to have a shift within yourself, and I think all of those old ways of thinking, those old things that have been holding you back, hopefully you're going to release it, and there's going to be you blossoming in some way, and raising your vibration and finding yourself in alignment with actually what you deserve. I think this section is about defying gravity. I think something's going to happen where it just feels all a little bit this can't be happening, this isn't right, and I feel like there's a little bit of denial involved in it, and a need to shift your perspective, and a shift to change the way that you're thinking about the material things. I don't know whether that makes any sense, but I feel like that's it. Like I said, the universe is clearing the way. There's an ending, there's a tower moment, that's a clearing the way. And I think this section here, this 10 of Pentacles, having everything that you need, but also having that fear of lack, perceived lack, I think there's just, it's very contrasting energies, isn't it? And I think it's all because of something, the way that you think about material stuff. And I think there's going to be a shift in the way that you're thinking. You're going to change it, and it's going to be the beginning, the making of you, really, I think. So we've got the Hierophant. I've said the making of you, I think, on another reading, but I think there's quite big energies this week. I feel quite excited because I feel like everything's starting to come together for everybody. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is about tradition, about doing things the way that things have always been done. Let's see what we got. King of Pentacles, richest king in the pack. 8 of Swords. Again, I think this is related to your connection to money, your connection to material stuff. I think you've done things in a certain way forever and ever. You've thought about things in a certain way forever and ever. It's how you've been brought up, how you've been conditioned throughout your life. And I think things are shifting. Things are changing on a financial level in a positive way, I think, for a whole chunk of you. And it's going to be big for some, small for others, and everything in between. So, for some of you, you may well get a pay rise. It's an extra $100 or £100 a week. For some of you, you may well come into an inheritance, or you may well, something good is going to happen. Maybe you're going to inherit a house or something. Who knows? Anything's possible. Got that Tower card there. But it's related to Pentacles, your week this week. And it's related to growth, it's related to clearing things happening that you just wouldn't expect. And I think, I think it's just really giving you the opportunity to grow, and also to think outside the box. And I actually think this is going to be quite stressful for you, because we've got the 8 of Swords. I mean, which Virgo would have an 8 of Swords card? I mean, who would think it? Card of overanalyzing, overthinking, seeking for perfection. I mean, I think this is going to cause a lot of mental overthinking, a lot of over-processing, over-analysing the situation. You need to not do that, because this is a really positive situation for you, Virgo. And I think you just got to shift, again, I'm going to say it again, shift your perspective. Queen of Wands. Embrace the energy of the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, she is an entrepreneur. She makes stuff happen. She is confident. She's fiery. She's not afraid of anything. She just goes for it. She draws abundance towards her with ease. And so I think you need to channel that overanalyzing energy into something else, into the energy of the Queen of Wands. You need to just be confident. Make good choices. King of Pentacles makes smart financial choices. He's extremely abundant, and it's effortless. It comes easy to him. And so I think you've got to try and just relax. I think relax into the energy that you're moving into, because I think it's a new energy, and I think that's why it's going to feel quite difficult, because it's not what you're used to. And I think this could be a really big week for you, Virgo, when things really start shifting, really things start changing. And I think all the work that you've been putting into things is going to start coming into fruition. but you've got to try not to overthink, overanalyze, and just shift that perspective. I think, do you know what, I think it's all about just going with the flow this week, and I said this to a few other people. I think you just need to try and just go with the energies, just take a day at a time, try not to overthink things, and just keep plodding forwards. We've got the Four of Cups, then we've got the Eight of Cups, then we've got the King of Swords. So I think there's a situation, a part of life, I'm not saying it's all of it, I think there's something that you're just not quite happy with. I think there's something that's just like a bit of a fly in the ointment, that's just not, it's just making you feel quite fed up and a little bit brassed off, actually. We've got that Four of Cups there. And I think this is the week where I think you're really going to realise that it's something that needs to be left behind. I don't think it's in alignment with who you are anymore. It doesn't fit with who you are anymore, and you need to let it go. You need to let it go, and you need to just move on to something new. Got the King of Swords there. He's very smart. He's got all the information he needs, and I think in your head that this is a choice, and he's a king of communication as well. So maybe it is that you need to have a conversation with somebody, whether it's work, whether it is a person, and just part of your life, a small part of your life. I think it is. I don't think it's massive, but it just needs to go. And I think you're going to have conversations surrounding that this week. Good conversations, well communicated conversations on your behalf, certainly. But I think that's, there's something that just isn't sitting with you, isn't in alignment with you anymore, and you just need to finally say goodbye, really. We've got the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the wounded soldier. Been through some tough stuff, but you're still persisting, you're still carrying on, you're still moving forward, trying not to hold on too much to what's gone on in the past, moving onwards. We've got the Seven of Cups, and we've got the Moon. So moving onwards, moving towards your dreams, making some more choices about how you want your life to look. What does your future look like to you? What's your vision for your future? You've got opportunities to make some choices regarding that, I think, coming up this week. A lot happening this week, isn't there? And I think it's going to be quite a deeply emotional week, actually, because we've got that Moon card there. I think actually I feel quite emotional seeing that, and I don't know why. I think, do you know what? I think there's going to be a bit of a relief for you. I think you are starting to see the benefits of everything that you've been doing over the last 5 years. And I think everything's starting to come together, and I think you're just finally moving on, and I think it's going to feel quite emotional to you, and I think it is certainly. I don't think it's without a little bit of intrepidation and a little bit of fear, but I do feel like this end section is all about you just moving on, making your choices, just keeping plodding on, moving onwards, because you don't give up. Let's have another card. The Lovers. With somebody with that special someone in your life. I think, it's all starting to make sense, and it's all starting to come together finally. Let's have one more, just because I'm a Virgo. Strength. I think you've been very strong. I think maybe, it's like one last push, a little bit of movement onwards. You're certainly moving forwards, moving into that place of alignment, making some choices, creating your vision for the future, and just clearing space, and defying gravity. What amazing thing's going to happen this week? I can't wait to find out what it is. I'd love to know if if you let me know in the comments how this week plays out for you. I'd love to know. And also, if you'd like to be part of this little community I'm trying to build, then press that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, but don't forget to press the notification button, and that will help you remember when my readings are released. But certainly an interesting week, Virgo. An interesting week of growth, of shifting perspectives, things changing. We've got that Tower card at the beginning and the ending. So I think you're in for an interesting week. So I'm going to leave it at that. You take care of yourself, stay rooted, stay open, and more than anything, stay magical, and I'll catch up again with you very, very soon.